What's up developers, and welcome back to a new video where we'll be diving into variables and control structures in Laravel. Quick pause. Do you want to support the channel and want me to continue on creating content? Well, you can support the channel on Patreon right now, where you get benefits such as a private Discord group where you can share your coding issues and other developers who will help you out. If you are interested to join, the link will be in the description down below. We've already touched on it a little bit, but Laravel uses Blade as their custom templating engine. If you're familiar with .NET, you will learn Blade super easy because it is inspired by .NET's Razor engine. Laravel Blade is extremely powerful. Personally, the best part is the fact that it escapes variables, and behind the scenes, it uses a lot of PHP functions to escape data. Besides that, Blade syntax will be compiled to normal PHP code and it will then be cached. It also allows you to use normal PHP tags. But I got to say that I haven't really run into situations that I had to use it before. I don't want to work with static data right now, and that's where we can use the query builder right inside of the controller. At the moment, we're selecting the average, so let's actually first delete the DD. Let's delete the average and let's chain the get method to it. So let's get everything from the post table. If we save it, navigate to Google Chrome and change our endpoint to /blog, it obviously won't output any data. In Laravel, there are a couple methods in how you could pass in data to a view. The first method is, let me actually open the post controller, is chaining the with method right to the view method, which is a simple method that allows you to pass in data right into the view. It's giving us an error right now because it accepts two parameters. The first one will be a string of how you'd like to call your variable, so pretty much the key. So let's say in our case it will be posts. Then we got to pass in a second parameter that will be the value of our posts. So in our case, let's say $posts, which will refer to all posts that we're grabbing from the database. So what we're saying in the return statement is pretty much that whenever the block.index, so the index.blade.php file is being called, pass in all posts that we're grabbing from the line above. Now, I don't want to grab 200 rows and do something with it inside of view. So let's replace the get method with the find method, where we will find one single post with an ID of 1. So let's save it. Let's scroll down and open the index method in the root of our directory. Let's copy everything that we have and let's paste it inside the index.blade.php file of our block. Now let's access post with ID number 1 inside our view. Let's copy our h1 and let's delete it. And whenever you want to access variables inside a Blade template, you need to wrap it inside a double set of curly braces. Then we could simply access our post by saying $posts, which will grab the key of the array that we passed inside our with method, access operator, and we're simply going to grab the title. What we're doing right here, which is equivalent to PHP, post, title, and close it off. But behind the scenes, it actually isn't. Like I've said before, Blade escapes all echoes by default. So what it's doing right now is basically, let's say PHP, HTML entities, and let's actually close it off, posts, title. So behind the scenes, what we're performing right here is simply this. Well, with an echo right in front of it, excuse me. What this will do is protecting users from malicious script insertions. Now let's delete it because we don't need it. Save it, navigate back to the view, refresh the page. And as you can see, post 1 has been printed out. Next to the with method to return data to the view, you could also use the compact method, which actually is a PHP function that's mostly used when sending back an array to the view. It doesn't work in the same exact way, so let's remove the entire with method, because the compact method needs to be passed inside the view method as a second parameter. So let's say compact. You also don't need to send back 2 required parameters, but you simply need to write down a string of the variable name of posts, which will refer to this line of code that we have. So basically all posts that we're grabbing from the database. Now let's replace the find method right now with the get method. So we're going to get 200 rows. Save it. Open our index.blade.php file, where we're going to dump, so a dump of our posts. If we save it, navigate to the browser and refresh it, you will see that we just selected 200 rows from the database, and I'm actually not going to scroll through it. Finally, the last method that we have is actually the method that I use the most and I do recommend to others, and that's simply passing in an array as a second parameter. So let's remove the compact method and let's pass in brackets and hit enter, where we have to define a key value pair, which pretty much works in the same exact way as with the with method. The key will be the posts, so whatever we actually want, but keep it equal to the variable name that we're going to use, or the action that we're going to perform. Then the value will be $posts, which will be referred to as the line above. Alternatively, you could even make your syntax shorter by passing in the entire query builder as the value. So pretty much like this, so we can remove the line above. Now keep in mind that we need to get rid of the semicolon, save it, navigate back to Google Chrome, refresh the page, and we have an array of 202 items. Even though we're using Blade as our templating engine, control structures work in the same exact way. So I'm not going to dive in depth into if statements and loops, but I do want to take a moment to show you the syntax because that's a little bit different. So let's navigate back to Visual Studio Code and let's open the index.blade and let's remove our dump. Blade has a couple helper methods that you could use and, in my personal opinion, make your view look a lot cleaner than it would with PHP. When you want to use directives or control structures, you need to start off with the @ sign, followed with the control structure you're trying to perform. Since we got our Blade snippet installed, you will see the options in the dropdown that we can choose from. And if we just hit enter, you'll see that it has added the end if directive as well, which is required for closure. Like with normal PHP conditional statements, you need to add a condition inside the parentheses that needs to be checked. So let's simply check that whenever the count of our posts is greater than 100, let's go inside our loop and let's say h1 and let's print out a dd of our variable posts. Save it, navigate back, refresh the page. As you can see, we have pretty much selected all rows that we have inside our database. But if we change our greater than sign to less than, refresh it, you will see that nothing has been printed out because we do have more than 200 rows inside our database. So the condition that we're passing in right now is false. Now you don't want to manually change the condition every single time. What we can do is go right outside of our closing h1, add an else directive, and on the line below, print out something that will happen if the if condition is false. So what we can do is say h1, elf no posts. Save it, navigate back, refresh it, and no posts have been printed out. Finally, we could check multiple conditions, which needs to be done right above our else statement. So you're pretty much closing off with the else. So right here, let's say else if, which requires a condition. So let's say that the condition is the count posts is equal to 202. If it is, let's say h1, you will have exactly 202 posts. Save it, navigate back, refresh it, and you can see that you have exactly 202 posts have been printed out. There are actually two statements that you can use with PHP, which are the unless and endunless directives. So let's navigate back to our code and let's remove all the conditional statements that we have. Let's add an @ sign of the unless directive and hit enter. So it created the starting directive and the closing directive. It has a condition where we will check $posts. And unless it has, let's say h1, posts have been added. Save it, refresh the page. As you could see, the output is empty, and that's because the unless directive is equivalent to actually the inverse of an if statement. So it will basically see if variable post has not been set. So it's basically checking whether the posts have not been set, but it has, so that's why nothing is printed out. Now I won't dive into while loops and for loops, but I do want to take a moment and talk about the for else and end for else directives, which are the same as the for each loop, but they allow you to add a fallback if the object you're iterating over is empty. So let's remove everything that we have, and let's create the add for else directive. Now, just as the for each, we're going to loop over an array of variable posts as one single post. If it does, we're simply going to print out the post access operator and only the title. else. So whenever our title has not been set, just print out a paragraph of no posts have been set. What we're doing right here is pretty much defining a fallback if the condition or if the value that we're trying to perform inside the for else is not true. At the moment, if we refresh our browser, all titles that we have been printed out. So the condition can be met. And I actually don't have an example to check how we can print out the paragraph. So that's on me. Now the main reason why I wanted to show you the for else is because you can use a couple properties right inside of it that are hidden. You can perform the same ones on the for each. If you prefer to work with the for each, you can just follow along as well. But I will keep my for else. So let's replace our post title with our property that has been hidden called loop, and let's access the index. Our $loop is an std class object, and the index method that we're going to perform right here will return the 0-based index of the current item in the loop. If we refresh our endpoint, you'll see that all IDs have been printed out, but the starting point is 0 and the ending point is 201. Instead of adding 1 manually to start with 1, you could replace the index with iteration, which is a 1-based index. So if we refresh it, you'll see that the starting index is 1 and the ending index is 202. A pretty funny property is the remaining property. So let's replace iteration with remaining, which will show you how many items are left over. So it starts with 202 minus 1, which is 201, 200, and so on up until it reaches 0. Instead of using the PHP count method, you could replace the remaining property with the count property, which will show you the count of items inside the loop. If we refresh it, you'll see that we have a total of 202 rows. Then we have the first property, which is a boolean that indicates whether this is the first item inside the loop. If we refresh it, you'll see that the return value is 1, which is equal to true. We also have the last one, which is the other way around. And there is also a method to check how many loops are being used. Currently, we're using 1, so we don't really have the best example right here. Let's replace last with depth, save it, refresh it. You'll see that we're constantly looping over 1 for each loop, or for else loop, excuse me. Now the same actually goes for the last one, which is the parent property that will reference to the loop variable for the parent loop item if the loop is within another loop. At the moment, it's not returning back anything since it's not inside another loop. Now this was it for this video where we dived into variables and control structures in Laravel Blade. If you do like my content and you want to see more, leave this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button.